afternoon. At the topic of climate change and diseases. Warming out in March 2020, climate change is the global risk of increase of infectious disease due to climate change year. From climate example, occurrence of disease outbreak no longer occur. Dengue fever appears in 2 or 3 during the temperature cycle. It also affects the distribution of parasites. It has been soft structure, altering and pathogenicity. The direct health damage caused in culture and sanitation are anticipated to reach between $4 billion per year by 20. The relationship between climate change and disease occurrence, zoonotic disease, pet loss. Two, and they are called as zoonotic disease. This are from home to man. Right? Admission. What is the relationship climate change and disease? Zoonotic diseases are the diseases which spread from animal and they are due to habitat loss. As climate change modifies ecosystem, habitat loss becomes common. As a result, carrying animals are forced to trespass on human area, waste of accessible habitat or supply. Okay. Major region. First is so as climate change modifies ecosystem and habitat loss of the animals who were earlier living in as a result carrying an waste of accessible habitats and greater interaction with humans and wildlife increase the risk of when it's from animal to the Nipah virus, for example, it outbreak in Kerala of similar speed. Right? Jangan belajar. আসছে আরম্ভ হইল। This greater interaction between this spread from Nipah virus spread by the bats. For example, generated of temperature and disease. Rising temperature can have an impact on vector like vectors and critical. Temperature and disease transmission. Rising temperature can have an impact on the vector like vectors are critical in the transmission of disease. Warmer temperature can expand the range of these, allowing them to thrive in precipitation patterns. Climate change can pattern, resulting in more in drought. In these modifications provide favorable breeding habitats for disease vectors. Flooding can contaminate water supplies with different bacteria, resulting in outbreak of disease. And heavy rains can cause stagnant water. They are perfect breeding grounds that spread disease. Changes in vector behavior. Climate change can have an impact on disease behavior. Warmer temperature can have the development of the vectors, allowing for a shorter incubation time and faster food security. Climate change can disrupt these disruptions contribute to malnutrition and making population extreme weather events. Climate change is an increase in the frequency and the cyclone waves, bias. These events can healthcare system conditions, changing digital landscape. Climate change has broadened the spectrum of threatening humans. Over half of all known that affect person climate. These diseases often discover new transmission, including environmental sources medical tourism and contaminated. Okay. In digital landscape, climate change has broadened the spectrum of infections threatening humans. Over half of the known infections that affect human worsen with changing climate pattern. The diseases often discover new roots in environmental medical tourism and contaminated food and water. What steps should be taken to remedy this problem? Mitigating climate change, as emission from fossil fuels, agriculture, industry, and waste, by using cleaner and more efficient technologies, switching to renewable energy, improving energy efficiency, and promoting low carbon. National biofuel policy, vehicles connectors policy, E20 means ethanol 20 fuel policy, national green hydrogen mission, some steps taken by government to check the impact of climate change. Enhancing the sinks of greenhouse gas such as forest, soil, and ocean by protecting and restoring natural ecosystem, increasing carbon sequestration and storage, and avoiding land degradation and deforestation. National Afforestation Program, Compensatory Afforestation Fund Management Planning Authority, CAMPA Fund. The National Action Program to combat desertification, some steps by the government that to check the climate change, and thereby the climate is good, so this spread of diseases from animal to human will also to some extent be reduced. Improving disease surveillance system, improve surveillance technology, invest in modern monitoring technology and systems that can track new diseases outbreaks in real time, and encourage the use of web enabled illness report that IHIP integrated health information platform. In 2018, 7 states implemented the IHIP. IHIP was created as a web enabled near real time electronic information capable of reporting on a wide variety of disease conditions and giving disaggregated data. One Health approach, adopt a One Health approach that incorporates monitoring of human, animal, plant, and environmental health. This method understands the interdependent factors and is critical in averting outbreaks, particularly those caused by animals. Capacity building and resource allocation, invest in training and building for healthcare workers, environmental scientists, and other relevant professionals to effectively monitor and respond to outbreaks. Allocate adequate resources in personnel, support disease surveillance and response. Public awareness and education, educate the public about the risk associated with climate change induced disease and the importance of early reporting of the symptoms, encourage community to participate in disease surveillance efforts. Awareness program like the Delhi government's anti-dengue campaign intensified further, especially in the stress areas. International collaboration, the office of the principal scientific advisor to the prime minister has played a leading role in this initiative. However, new funding sources, the World Bank, there is a need for greater coordination management to ensure the source of One Health and program. So this needs not only national but international collaboration, because so this climate change is not confined to a particular country but it is the entire world. Program evaluation adoption, regularly regulate evaluate the effective surveillance and adapt strategies based on evolving disease pattern and climate change impact. Conclusion, climate change does not only affect, it also worsens injuries and death caused by extreme weather, respiratory and cardiovascular disorder, and mental health problems. So climate change does not only affect injuries, death caused by weather, respiratory and cardiovascular disorder, and mental health problems. So the emergence of Nipah in Kerala Okay. So the rumors methane Kerala serves as a wake-up call that a purely biological response is insufficient. Protecting ecosystem, promoting work, and the One Health paradigm are our strongest defenses against the changing climate and threat of infectious illness. Road aid will get The road aid will necessitate concerted efforts not only to adapt but also to proactively protect our planet and its habitat. The next topic is the international relationship, building bricks for the future. Recently, in 2023, 6 new members adopted to the BRICS grouping in South Africa. The 2023 summit was hosted at Johannesburg, South Africa, led to the expansion of BRICS. So BRICS was earlier Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. BRICS efforts started as BRIC, Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Subsequently, South Africa joined BRICS, and at the South African hosted Johannesburg 6 more countries were added to the grouping, so making it the BRICS plus 6. So who are the 6 countries? Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and UAE. So the 6 countries were added to BRICS, making it the big forum in international relations. So country includes Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and UAE. To that, so the earlier members were there already include Brazil, India, China, South Africa. Plus include Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and UAE. Other outcomes of the people on matters global economic, political, and business alliance. Also head on the sideline of the three BRICS finance minister or central bank governors to consider the issue of local currency, payment instrument, and platform, etc. BRICS expansion, while many believe that this summit was big, must look at BRICS in terms of how it has evolved rather than the outcomes. Economic importance. Begin, it is necessary to remember that the BRICS develop as a result of economic necessity. Does not give material security assistance to foreign countries, does not participate in nation policy, and does not provide peacekeepers. The limitations of BRICS GDP is already GDP. Member population will reach 47% global population in 2050. As a result, critical to consider the long-term potential presented by these BRICS. Most members admitted, implying that BRICS could present a major BRICS could represent a major challenge to the G7 dominance of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, United Kingdom, and United States, where the G7 country the world, but BRICS will be counter to it. Demographic importance. Second two BRICS members are China and India, which together accounts for one-third of the global population. Two countries have the world's fastest growing economy and are predicted to be among the top 3 by 2030. Both countries recognize that worldwide bilateral ties have changed as a result of the establishment of blocs such as the European Union or ASEAN, as such blocs have accelerated trade and investment. India and China have faced bilateral hurdles on the political and diplomatic level since their stalemate at the Doklam in 2017. Bilateral trade has grown tremendously. Look for the alternative. Third, there is some polarization. The United States and the rest of the world. Many countries are concerned about the United States versus China. The United States is eager to implement tariffs and other barriers to limit China's expansion in trade and investment. China has made advances in areas such as communication, infrastructure, and electric mobility, which the US would like to limit. This is only going to get worse. As a result, countries desire to be part of a group that includes China. China is not a major member in the BRICS grouping. Demographic countries, India, South Africa, Brazil serve as counterweight to China. So China, although is a member of BRICS, but it is overweighted by the democratic countries like South Africa, Brazil, India, who have upheld democracy to its maximum. The refugee crisis, trade and investment. Similarly, the treatment of refugees in Europe does not provide a pleasant picture of a world that is becoming globalized. Countries such as the United States have broken World Trade Organization rules without being penalized. This means that government must seek alternative agreements. As BRICS expands, many trade, commercial, and investment protocols will be developed similar to what we see in various free markets or economic blocs. De-dollarization and global currency. Fourth, the US dollar has always been the leading global currency. Digital currency is obviously the future. Digital platforms growth in countries. India and China have made significant progress in this area, and they are well ahead of the United States and Europe. Both India and China are seeking trade, investment, and commerce in their respective currency, and by working together through the BRICS, they can position their respective currency as alternatives to the US dollar. The absence of the US dollar is a major reason for the convergence of India and China center. Africa, the continent of the future Africa. Finally, Africa is the continent that offers economic growth this century, because the century is called the century of countries. Okay, so the manner in which France inverted in Niger, as well as the treatment of migrants in Europe, the Africans are unfavorable view of Europe. Visa limitations have driven Africans to travel to China to seek progress more closely than Europe on the United States. Right now, the Africans who were earlier going to Europe and America, right now coming to China. This gives people hope for China's future, because if Africa became China, Africa's prospect will increase also the importance of China, the global political. African country continue to discuss the necessity of flexibility in selecting partners for investment or trade. At the G20 conference in Delhi, India offered full membership of the African Union. The African Union became member of the G20. It is attempting to expand its reach in Africa. BRICS will be absent from the news in the next summit. However, each summit develops a spark that serves foundation for other network of people in the future. It's a long-term organization which has a bright future, and if the countries and the country of BRICS they need to follow it honestly, BRICS will be the emerging group challenging the G7. The commercial spyware, Cryptox Predator spyware, was transmitted via SMS and WhatsApp link to a former Egyptian politician. Spyware is informally described as a malicious software that enters a device, collects sensitive data, and sends it to a third party without the user's knowledge. Some spyware is used for commercial goals such as advertising. Spyware is designed to benefit from data stolen from a victim's device. Spyware is roughly classified as follows: spyware, Trojan, hardware, tracking cookies, system monitors. All types of spywares collect data from the author. System monitors and hardware are more dangerous since they can modify a device software and expose it to further risk. What is commercial spyware? Commercial spyware was developed as a result of opportunities for governments and law enforcement deploy malwares as part of legal investigations. Commercial spyware is mostly aimed at mobile platforms and can be used legally against criminals and terrorists. However, because to a lack of global restrictions for corporations manufacturing spyware, authoritarian government abuse it to eavesdrop on political opponents. Commercial spyware, such as the NSO group, Pegasus spyware, okay, so can purportedly not only collect data from mobile devices but also activate the camera and microphone without the owner's knowledge, effectively converting handset into surveillance machines. So you see the Pegasus spyware was much in news because it was the allegation that it was misused, okay, even in India. The project Udhav, the Indian Army has started an initiative named Project Udhav. The research began with the goal of rediscovering the vast tradition of statecraft and strategic ideas derived from ancient Indian books, statecraft, warcraft, diplomacy, and grand strategy. United Service Institute of India, USA, defense think tank is collaborating in this initiative. The goal of the project Uddhav is to build an indigenous strategic lexicon that is deeply anchored in India's rich philosophical and cultural traditions, as well as to rediscover these tales. The overarching goal is to combine ancient wisdom with modern military pedagogy. Project Uddhav began in 2021 and has already produced a book in 75 aphorisms drawn from ancient books that provide important insights into India's strategic history. Then the next topic is very important, Nobel Prize in Medicine. The 2023 Nobel Prize in Medicine or Physiology has gone to scientists Katalin Kariko and Drew Isman, work enabled the development of mRNA vaccine against COVID-19. After the invention of a wide usable in transcription technique in 1989, RNA as a therapy was initially advocated. A few years later, mRNA was proposed as a vaccine platform. Once in the body, the mRNA guides cells that take up the vaccine to make proteins that, when present in intact viruses or tumor cells, may elicit an immune response against these identical proteins. When a patient's cells are injected, they operate as a manufacturing plant, making exact copies of the mutation for the immune system recognize and destroy. The body learns to fight against infection after being exposed to the alterations without the virus. Contribution of the Carrico and this Wishman. Carrico and Wishman realized that problem with the lab-grown genetically engineered mRNA is that the body's dendritic cells recognize them as a foreign substance and release inflammatory signaling molecules against them. The dendritic cells have important functions, surveillance, and the activation of vaccine-induced immune response. Carrico and Wishman knew that bases in RNA from the mammalian cell are frequently chemically modified, while in vitro transcribes mRNA. They wondered if the absence of altered bases in the in vitro transcribed RNA would explain the unwanted inflammatory reaction. To investigate this, they produced different variants of mRNA, each with unique chemical alterations in their bases, which they deliver to dendritic cells. The inflammatory response was almost abolished when base modifications were included in the mRNA. Then the macrophages. In a new cancer cell study, researchers discovered senescent macrophages in the lungs that not only persisted but also aided tumor growth. So macrophages are a type of white blood cell that is essential to the human immunity. They aid in the identification phagocytosis and elimination of the bacteria or the pathogen. The term macrophage is derived from the Greek word macro, meaning large, and phagean, meaning to eat. They are required for host tissues upkeep and defense by recognizing and swallowing particulate particles and then necessarily producing a pro-inflammatory response. They may alter themselves to develop diverse structures in order to combat various germs and infections. The system. This approach, macrophages serve as a host initial line of defense against infection. They also play a role in the formation of non-specific or innate immunity. Macrophages create cytokinins, which are signaling molecules that communicate with other immune cells. Cytokines are proteins that have a role in inflammation, tissue healing, and adaptive immune response. They travel to and circulate within nearly every tissue, searching for infections and removing dead cells. Macrophages have several names depending on where they work in the body. For example, macrophages in the brain are known as microglia, whereas those in the liver, synodes, are known as Cooper cell. But in the cellular senses, it is a durable cell cycle arrest conditions in which proliferating cells become resistant to growth promoting stimuli, generally as a result of DNA damage. The cell experiences several phenotypic and metabolic changes throughout this period. That senescent cells grow with age and have been linked to the development of a number of age-related illnesses. Cellular senescence can impair tissue repair and regeneration, contributing to aging. The removal of senescent cells can reduce age-related malfunctions and increase life expectancy. Senescence can also serve as an effective anti-tumor mechanism by inhibiting the multiplication of gland cells. Then come to the question: the Indian Constitution was designed not for people how they are, but how they ought to be. The Constitution maker were aware of the realities and the challenges of Indian society, which was marked by poverty, illiteracy, inequality, etc. They did not want to create a constitution that could merely reflect the existing condition, but one that could aspire to change them for the better. They wanted to create a constitution that could enable the people to realize their potential and to participate in the nation building process. The constitution therefore laid down the goal and the values that the people of India should strive for, such as right and equality. The Constitution guarantees fundamental rights to all citizens, irrespective of their current condition, aiming to protect individuals from discrimination, oppression, and injustice. These rights are meant to create a society where individuals have the freedom to pursue their own aspirations and are not bound by their existing circumstances. Economic justice: the Constitution's directive principle of state policy also reflect an aspiration for economic justice. By recognizing the economic disparity prevalent in society, the Constitution directs the state to work towards reducing this disparity by promoting economic and social justice. Social transformation: the framers of Indian Constitution envision a society where the caste system, gender discrimination, and other forms of inequality could be eradicated. Therefore, the Constitution includes provisions like affirmative action for historically disadvantaged groups and the promotion of social justice. Secularism: the Indian Constitution also emphasizes secularism, recognizing the country is religiously diverse. It envisions a society where all religions are treated equally and where the state does not favor any particular religion. This is in contrast to the prevailing religious hierarchy that existed at the time of independence. Then the democratic value: the Constitution promotes democratic values such as equality before the law and universal suffrage with the aim of fostering a participatory and democracy. It envisions a society where the voices of all citizens, regardless of their socio-economic background, are heard and respected. The Indian Constitution, therefore, is not a static or a rigid document, but a dynamic and a flexible one that can adapt to the changing needs and aspirations. The Constitution is also not a final or a perfect document, but a progressive and visionary one that can inspire the people to work towards the realization of its goal and values. Okay. Then coming to the MCQs, the following statement about the Bardi genus. It is a type of freshwater fish found in Nagaland. That is right. It is known as chameleon fish because of its ability to change color quickly during reproducing. So here both are correct. So the following statement regarding the macrophages. They are a type of white blood cell that is essential to the human immune system. That is correct. They may change themselves to develop diverse structure in order to combat various germs and invaders. So both 1 and 2 are correct. He was born into a family of progressive freedom fighters. He was a voracious reader and prolific writer. Prefer a pen over a pistol in the hand. In the 1920, he was writing for both and Punjabi newspapers. He was hanged for murdering British founders 1931 at the age of 23. This is regarding Bhagat Singh. Reference to the latest Lancet Commission report on gender inequality in cancer care, consider the following statement. The report highlighted that even though men are at a higher risk of cancer that affect both gender, cancer incidence and mortality in women remains high. Except in this is right. Except in metropolitan cities and higher income groups, families, women are more likely than men to lack the knowledge and power to make informed decisions, report said. So 2 is incorrect, only 1 is correct. Sycamore gap. Sycamore gap was recently seen. It is located in UK. A Stevens Gandhian from Tamluk, Bengal, he fell to British bullet in September 1942 while leading the movement march. Earlier, at the age of 61, he was arrested for taking part in the 1930. September 42, at the age of 73, he led a large procession around 6,000 most women. The procession marched with aim to take over the Tamluk police station from British. In 1970, the first statue of the in the Kolkata Maidan dedicated to a woman revolutionary was that of her, and each Matangini Hazara. What is the significance of the R21 matrix M vaccine? So it is the second malaria vaccine approved by the WHO. This is the following statement about the Kaimur Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay. So it is situated in the Vindhyachal mountain range, right? It is linked to the Uttar Pradesh Chandraprabha Wildlife Sanctuary, correct? It is densely forested with mosaic, pyri and tropical dry deciduous forest. All the 3 are correct. This is the following statement regarding the National Service Scheme. It enables students to participate in numerous community service initiatives organized by the government. The central sector scheme run by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. So both 1 and 2 are correct. The following statement regarding the green ammonia is created by combining hydrogen from water electrolysis and nitrogen extracted from the atmosphere. It can be used as a fuel in engine like the locomotive. So both 1 and 2 are correct. Right. Keep watching regularly to update yourself.